with anyone. I could be with anyone. You're here with me. You're here with me. You could be around with me. You could be with anyone. I could be with anyone. You're here with me. You're here with me.
Let's get it. Recently, I've had the opportunity to see one of the most phenomenal instances of resistance on a reality show, hands down. Now, as many of you know, I follow reality shows just trying to pick out certain interpersonal dynamics that I think are interesting to talk about. There was one point where we're introduced to the Davis family on Seeking Sister Wives. The Davis family consists of Nick, who is holding the baby. That's his baby with the lady with the purple shirt on. There's also another lady who is standing there with red on, with the red top. Those two people, when they were dating Nick and they decided that they wanted to engage in a polygamous relationship, Nick said, in order to keep everything fair and even, I'm not going to marry either one of you, but as a condition of you participating in this family, you will marry each other. So these two ladies are married to each other, but as far as I know, they only are in romantic situations with the gentleman Nick who's holding the baby. Later on, they added the young lady, Danielle, who is standing there with the glasses. She's kind of in the back, has like the rose-colored glasses, no pun intended, and she entered into the family under the condition that upon her entering into the family, she's going to become not only a partner to Nick, but she's going to become a sister wives to these other two ladies, Jennifer and April, and they're going to live as a family. When Jennifer has her baby, all of a sudden, each one of the women takes the role of being the mother. This is a new introduction to the family, and it becomes real. For Danielle, who is 23 years old, she's looking at this situation, and this is the first time she's been in any type of polygamous relationship, and most certainly has never heard of this type of application before. She's new to it, she's young, and she's trying to work her way through it. April, Jennifer, and Nick, as a condition of their family, want to expand their family. Now, by expanding their family, what I mean is they want to go out and find other women to come into the family to become future sister wives. And as part of their coming into the family, they would have to marry available sister wives who are unattached. So for instance, when Nick goes out and he finds a sister wife, that wife for Nick is going to actually be this young lady Danielle's legal wife, because she's legally going to marry this woman. Now, I have my suspicions as to why I think it's so important for them to get the legal marriage. Like, why can't, if nobody's going to be married to Nick, why should anybody in the family get married? This gives them the opportunity to be able to decide whether they want to be a part of this union or not. But the reason why, in my assessment, that they want to have this legal marriage is because even though they play the game of throwing the word marriage around a lot and it doesn't mean anything because we got a spiritual marriage and we give our word to each other and we all dedicated to Nick, the truth of the matter is that having a legal documented marriage or civil union, it ties these individuals into the family and they no longer have any choices. They can't just pack up and leave because they don't want to be there anymore, or things aren't working out, or things didn't turn out the way they want. And because of this, the young lady Danielle was being pressured to take on a wife. Now, as I said, because for those who don't know, I also shoot a live on Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Sarah Howe from Reality Squad and Amanda from Reality Amanda. Those two good channels. You should subscribe to them if you're not yet subscribed. And if you're not subscribed here, please do. But as I said in our live this week about this situation, you have to take into account when you're engaging in these types of relationships that if you get married, for instance, if Danielle at 23 years old gets married to another woman who Nick is attracted to and she doesn't necessarily have a romantic attachment to or any type of real tie to other than Nick wants her in the family because he likes sleeping with her and thinks she's attractive and funny, If that lady brings in a mountain of debt, Nick doesn't assume that debt. Jennifer and April don't assume that debt. All that debt falls on or is shared by her legal wife, who would be Danielle. So Danielle could get herself into a situation legally with somebody where she becomes responsible for someone whom she doesn't even have a real romantic relationship with. So it's problematic. One of the things that's going on is that these ladies, as well as Nick, are trying to encourage this 23-year-old woman to expand the family, take on a wife, because this is what they wanted to do, and this is what she agreed to do, and this is how they run their family, and if she wants to be part of the family, this is what she's going to have to do. Danielle took a position where she said, I am not sure this is what I want for myself. And she did something that I think everybody who is in a similar situation, not necessarily polygamy or whatever, but in work relationships or in romantic relationships, friendships, where you're not sure if this relationship is working for you, you may have to take a step back to figure out what it is about this relationship that isn't working out, and what are you getting from this relationship in general. Is this relationship working for you? Is this something that it's fun now, but is this something that I want to do in 10 or 15 years? Do I want to be, 23 years old? You make all kinds of decisions, but looking down the line, when you want to start having kids, do you want to bring a kid into this particular family structure? Is this something you want to do when you're 40, 50, 60 years old, trying to figure out what you're going to do with a bunch of women and a bunch of wives? Is this what you want to do for yourself? Do you want to have your own man? Is this what you want? Do you want to have a monogamous relationship? Do you want to have that love and affection and caring from one person, and that's reciprocal for you in that relationship? Or do you want to have this group type love? You have to make that decision for yourself. And that's what she started to do. And she decided that she was going to leave this situation, put it on pause. She was going to leave this situation and try to figure things out herself. Now, as one of the descriptors of this particular situation, she left, got herself an apartment, moved out, didn't really tell anybody. I think she sent a text message, or Nick had caught her packing her stuff up, and she told him that she needed time and she was leaving, and that's what she did. She didn't contact the other two women. Now, some people will look at that and say, well, that's a form of cowardice, and it's not fair. But I say this, she has to figure out for herself what it is she wants. And these two ladies are trying to push her into this type of relationship with the whole peer pressure of, you agreed to do this, this is something you said you were okay with, now you've changed your mind, we've committed to you as a family, you're hurting the family, and putting all that extra pressure on her to coerce her and pressure her into doing something she doesn't want to do. I applaud Danielle for taking that time for herself to figure out if this situation works for her. This isn't just for polygamy. This actually is for monogamy as well. If you're in a relationship and it's not working out for you, you should have every right to step back and say, you know what, is this relationship the place where I want to be? There's also something I want to say as well. When we consider this, and Danielle was putting forth her complaints, and she was saying, as a partner and as an active member of this relationship, this is something I don't want to do. Even if she agreed to do this or participate in this in the beginning, she should have every right to decide to change her mind. She has the right to say, you know what, and the autonomy to say, you know what, this is something I don't want to participate in. For instance, if you have a monogamous couple who wants to try swinging or something of that nature, and they look on the websites, they meet somebody, they set it up, and they go on Tinder or wherever they go, and they find somebody and they want to meet with them. If you get dressed up, you get a babysitter, you go to the person's bar, or you sit on the bar stools waiting for the person to come in. If one of the partners sees the person at the door, walking through the door with a big old smile on their face, and they look at their partner and say, you know what, I changed my mind. Out of respect for that partner who no longer wants to participate in this, that should be it. The cord should be pulled. This evening is closed out. Thank you for coming out, but she's changed her mind. She doesn't want to do it. She doesn't feel comfortable. It's over. The challenge that Danielle is having is that these people, Nick, Jennifer, April, they don't care what she thinks. And my position is, if they don't care when you don't feel comfortable, then they won't care when they pick somebody. They won't care when they add that person. They won't care when they want to bring that person into the family, into the home. And more importantly, they won't care when you object to marrying that person. I don't want to marry that person. They don't care what you think. And at that point, you are no longer a partner. And as I've said in previous videos, you're not a partner, you're an employee. And what you need to do is lose your job. You are about to lose your job. You are about to lose your job. And cut that thing off. That's my position. So take that time to think about what it is you want to do. Like I said, I'm very excited to see that, especially coming from a young person, and challenged with dealing with people. She's 23. Some of the people who are involved, I think Nick is like 38, almost 40 years old. I think Jennifer is, April or Jennifer is about 40 something, 43, 44. So she's dealing with people who are about 20 years her senior, and she's still standing up for herself, rightly so. And I give her a lot of respect on that point. That's my take. I'm James. This has been My Take on Reality, and I'm out.
'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, peace, yeah.